Welcome, fifth graders, to your first analogies assignment, which is going to require you to consider relationships. Let's get started. What is an analogy? An analogy is a comparison between two things. In order to be able to solve analogies, you need to consider relationships. To solve an analogy, you must look for the relationship between the first two items and then establish the same relationship between the other two things in the analogy. Here is an example of a completed analogy. Humdrum is to monotonous as extraneous is to foreign. The colon between humdrum and monotonous means is to, which means these two words are related to each other. The colon between extraneous and foreign also means is to, because these two words are also related to each other. The double colon between monotonous and extraneous means as, which means the second set of words are related to each other the same way the first two words are. Humdrum is to monotonous as extraneous is to foreign, is how we say this statement. How can we prove this is a related analogy? First, we look at the first two words, humdrum and monotonous. You might be thinking, what do these words even mean? Or how do you say these words again? There will likely be many times in this activity where you will see words you have never seen before, or that you see words you have seen before, but you don't know what they mean. The first thing you need to make sure you do is have a paper and pencil with you for this activity. You will need this to write down any words you need to look up. To help us look up words, we will use the resource dictionary.com. The link for this site is in the written directions for the activity, and there will be a link on each slide. Make sure when you use this site that you are only looking up words and not clicking on the ads that pop up. We use this site as an educational resource and we need to use it responsibly. The first word that I am going to look up is humdrum. It means lacking variety, boring, or dull. What about monotonous? It means lacking in variety. Both words talk about lacking in variety, which means humdrum and monotonous are synonyms. Now, let's look at the next set of words, extraneous and foreign. Remember, since this is an analogy, that means these words should also be synonyms because they need to be related to each other in the same way humdrum and monotonous were related. The double colon means as because the first two words are related in the same way as the second set of words. Humdrum and monotonous are synonyms, so extraneous and foreign should also be synonyms. Let's make sure. I'm going to head back to dictionary.com to check my thinking. Remember to write down the words you are unfamiliar with so you know exactly what to look up when you get to the site. Extraneous means not belonging, external or foreign. Look, the second word foreign is listed as a description for extraneous, which means it must be a synonym. Foreign means derived from somewhere else or belonging somewhere else. Yes, it is a synonym. And extraneous, a synonym with extraneous. One more thing about dictionary.com. Look at the sound icon. If you click the sound icon, it has a voice that pronounces the word for you so you know how to say it. Feel free to use this feature as well. Now that we know what analogies are, here is an example of your activity this week. You have 15 slides that have incomplete analogies. Remember to have a paper and pencil with you. This example is feed is to nourish as ascend is to what? The first thing you need to answer is, what is the relationship between the first two members of the analogy? So, the words feed and nourish. How are these two words related? When you know, you will type or voice record the relationship between feed and nourish. The dictionary.com link will also take you right to the site if you need to look up what feed, nourish, or any other words on the site, on the slide, are to help you determine the relationship. The second part has you moving the correct word to complete the analogy. You will be given choices for answers that are usually closely related to the first member of the second set of words. But you must make sure the word you choose is not only related, but related in the same way that the first two members of the analogy are related. Ascend relates to one of the words on the bottom, the same way feed relates to nourish. Again, there are 15 slides. You are expected to have at least 7 completed and correct by next Monday. Good luck.